Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Keep It Dirty, a podcast where my guests share their life living functionally and sustainably and their why behind their experiences navigating through our ever changing environment. I am your host, Leslie Dowling. I'm a corporate speaker, passionate about creating optimal performance in the workplace, which will have a direct effect on an increase in revenue and productivity through restorative health techniques. So hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to be doing a couple of short, just tips, tools, and strategies to get through some navigation of cooking, prepping. And also there's been a lot of people asking me about, well, what do you cook with? I cook with cast iron. And this is really interesting. There was an article that I printed out. This was back in early 2024, and it's basically why 266 scientists are sounding the alarm about the dangers of non-stick cooking pans. And this is from cheffoundry.com. And there's about, over 200 renowned scientists that believe there may be links to cancer, hypothyroidism, autoimmune disease, and obesity in the number one ingredient in non-stick cooking pans. Yes, that's Teflon. And if anyone that is you or your family is using a non-stick pan, then really you should start doing your diligence and start doing some research. And this is just from studies that have been found and have been tested from people from across the country, across the world. So I'm taking this from information that I read in this article. So some of the things that really caught my eye, and I know back in the 70s, early 80s, that was the rage. It was so easy and simple to clean, but there's chemicals that are emitted when you're heating up these Teflon pans that you have to be really careful. So if you cook, for example, it says with a nonstick Teflon pan, some of the scientific evidence that is shown today is pretty eye-opening. So let's see. Let's start with what is a good place to start. There's just a lot of information here. Okay, so what is this all about? There are some main ingredients in Teflon nonstick pans that are called, they're PFAs, polyfluoroalkyl, POLYKYL substances. That's basically PFAs for short. That's an easier way to remember. So even if you have read that one type of PFA called PFOA was banned recently, this basically hasn't made a difference and is actually very, as the scientists say, scandalous in itself. And it says, because you may not know that it's the companies involved that simply tweaked the molecule and used a new and untested type of PFA. Interesting. So if you use a non-stick Teflon or T-FAL pan to cook, with chances that you are actually using pans that have PFAs in it. So almost all black non-stick cookware use PFAs in some forms. And basically, the study shows the international scientific community are becoming increasingly alarmed that these substances are linked to birth defects, hyperthyroidism, autoimmune disease, testicular and kidney cancer, and even obesity. Wow, that's pretty mind-boggling when you think of it. And there is, as we've seen on a lot of commercials recently over the last couple of years, that unfortunately there are deadly types of lung cancer called mesothelioma that was incurable. And they called for an end to smoking, but the tobacco companies paid doctors to say it was actually good for you. That was back in the 50s, early 60s. Now smoking is proven to be one of the most deadly things you can do. So there are a lot of interesting red flags when it comes to that. We were also told that using CFCs, because it was causing actually irreversible damage to our atmosphere, they actually told us to stop using CFCs because it was causing irreversible damage to our atmosphere. And now studies have shown that we now have a hole in the ozone layer that is roughly the size of Greenland, causing skin cancer rates in Australia to skyrocket. And they now believe that mounting evidence against PFAs is too overwhelming to ignore. So they rallied against the dangerous scourge of asbestos only to be told it was fine. So, you just have to do your diligence and navigate very cautiously. So this article basically is just showing you just over the years of track record of things that, maybe in our gut we thought was really not as healthy and we were told it was. So unfortunately, there's very strong evidence that the very thing we all cook with could be actually poisoning us and causing cancerous growths throughout our body. So, yeah, everything you should try to do in balance. Anything you do with extreme is going to cause imbalance and dysbiosis in our system, which we're very well aware of. So the question is, how do we navigate through this? Well, just check out and see what are your pots and pans made of and start slowly transitioning to pans that don't have that non-stick coat, that doesn't have that Teflon shiny coating. Also, that these harmful chemicals have been scientifically shown to linger in our bodies until the day we actually pass. I did mention causes cancerous growth in the testicles and kidneys, and it basically will eventually drive your immune system to turn on and off itself. It scrambles your thyroid until it barely works. So, your immune system is really going into this dysbiosis, like this roller coaster ride, and it slows your metabolism to crawl. And it can, no matter what you do to try to lose weight, it can cause that disruption of your metabolism. Well, let's see. Here we go. To fully understand where this crazy harmful substance came from, we need to go back to military technology. This is according to, and I'm reading this article from Chefs in Foundry. That's CHEFS Foundry, FOUNDRY.com/cookware dangers. Okay, we're going back to military technology of World War II. Teflon was created in a lab back in 1938, right at the start of the Second World War. At that time, specifies here in this article, any new technological breakthrough was being looked at to try and gain a foothold in the Second World War. And it says it originally looking for new gases to use in refrigerators, Dr. Roy Plunkett discovered Teflon by accident. He found that one particular gas, PTFE, actually dried into the glass vial it says it was being stored in. So this dry residue turned out to be slipperiest, most corrosive resistant substance known to man. It also says that this side note, this corrosion resistance is exactly why PFAs are known as the forever chemical. They simply do not break down and will stay in our bodies until the day we die. Okay, wow. So then there was really a pivotal turn, fast forward from World War II, and now these are used in our cookware. Okay. So they trademarked PFAs under the brand name, and Americans are now familiar with Teflon and T-FAL. Okay, compared to any other pan at that time, Teflon pans were by far superior. Wow, it was easier to clean, less oil was needed, and food didn't stick to the pan. And sales of Teflon products skyrocketed. Profits boomed. Well, there we go. So they're making a lot of money on something that actually was doing harm, long-term harm to our bodies. So, wow. So people were starting to get sick deep inside the DuPont factories where the Teflon was being made. The factory workers called it Teflon flu. Isn't that really fascinating? Horrible flu-like symptoms that made them sick with chills, fevers, and headaches for days. Just a few whiffs of this toxic fume coming off the production line would be enough. Wow. So here's just a few of the reports from scientific journals looking at this. 4 stove-top burners underlined with Teflon-coated drip pans were preheated in preparation for Thanksgiving dinner. 14 birds died within 15 minutes. What? Wow. Nonstick cooking sheet was placed under oven broiler to catch the drippings. 107 chicks died. Water burned off a hot pan. More than 55 birds died. Wow. And one more. Grill plate on gas stove used to prepare food at normal temperatures. 2 birds died on 2 separate occasions. Wow. So just because humans don't die when exposed to polymer fumes, which this article says could be doing every time you cook, it doesn't mean it might not be causing permanent damage to our lungs. Wow. So just be careful about, like I said, I go back to cookware, what you're using. And also it's interesting to look into what kind of oils are you using when cooking, because some oils, when heated at high temperatures, can cause carcinogenic exposure when it burns, and it's burned at a high rate. Some oils cannot be used at high cooking temperatures. So please take account of that and start doing a little more research into that. And let's see. This is just really interesting article. And I've been going through, I have bins of articles and things that I like to print out and read at my leisure. And these are the things that I just wanted everybody to be aware of. This is scientific evidence. This has been studied, case research, and this is studied by accomplished and well-educated doctors, scientists from all over the world. So just be careful and start figuring out what is it that you're using when you are cooking cookware. So in a nutshell, that's about it. This is what I wanted to share with everybody. This is why I'm so passionate about why I do what I do as a functional health practitioner. And I just wanted to spread awareness for people to start not only looking about what they're ingesting and eating, also what they're cooking with, because there's so many different variables and areas that are affecting us, our overall health, that is important to be aware of. And a lot of my viewers and listeners says, like, they ask me, what is your workout regime? So how do I keep fit? This has been a lifelong journey of just living a clean and healthy lifestyle. It's not like I had a crash, course on trying to lose weight within a month or two. It's something that I've just incorporated into my lifestyle, incorporate that into my 3 sons who really shifted gears in their late teens, early 20s, realizing mom might have something that is valid, the way that she has cooked over the years, the way that she has just nurtured and educated us on getting out there, moving the body, exercising, and getting a workout regime. And, people are compromised. I understand that, but there are certain things you can do to get your heart rate up. So for me, because I work from home, I work around my schedule. I block out in the morning to work out, and I kind of rotate. Sometimes I'll go for brisk walks with my dogs. Sometimes I'll go into the gym 3 times a week. As you age, we lose muscle mass, and especially people that are going through perimenopause, menopause. Some people are going in their perimenopause in their 40s or 50s, and you need to incorporate a system of some sort of using weights, even if it's light weights. Get into the gym, start using weights, and I'm not looking to bulk up. I just want to keep myself lean and keep that muscle mass so I don't end up with osteopenia, osteoporosis like my grandmother and my mother did because they didn't really work out much, and just eating a really balanced diet with a lot of grains. And also, I like drinking a lot of water. And I do talk about plastics and toxins, but Hydro Flask is what I use. You could get any kind of metal flask. I put water in it. And I also put in here from Trace Minerals. There are boost stamina, energy, and endurance. It has electrolyte concentrates in here. So it's concentrated with electrolytes, which is a good thing. But also, I'm very passionate about telling people to speak with your physician or other healthcare professionals before taking any medication or nutritional, herbal, or homeopathic supplements, because herbs can be very powerful. And people with high blood pressure has to be careful, like with black licorice root. So do your diligence. These are just some of the things that I personally do. If it's something that you're interested in, speak to your doctor, or if you have a functional health doctor or practitioner. Throughout the season, I use, this is Beekeepers Naturals. It's nasal spray. And I deal with vasomotor rhinitis where my nose drips, and especially during spring and fall with the pollen, whatnot, that keeps me from getting any kind of bacterial infections that could go into full-blown like bronchitis or being sick. And also, this is immune support. This is also Beekeepers Natural, which I just spray sublingual under the tongue, and it's just a maintenance. But if you're allergic to anything or have to be careful, just look at the ingredients and talk to your doctor. It's a windy day here in Pennsylvania, and I could just feel like me sneezing from now that the trees are starting to bloom. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Spring is just around the corner here, and looking forward to if you have any further questions or concerns or something that you want me to review. I will be having more guests on throughout the season. And thanks for listening, and thanks for supporting my channel. Take care.